Welcome everyone to this very short and a sweet presentation aptly titled on evolution of leadership. Remember, leadership is a compendium which a never-ending topic. You will have various personalities, various situations which catapults oneself to be a successful leader. But let me address that this particular presentation is only on the aspects in how in we have evolved on this particular concept of leadership. So evolution of leadership is what we will be talking in this presentation. This presentation remains one of the shortest presentation on leadership, but you have other videos on leadership which will be there at your disposal to give you a better understanding of leadership per se. So a new idea from ancient time, is it? Today's behavior, what we do, are influenced by our biological history, what we were. We are descendants from our apes, right? We were earlier, in fact, our ancestors were used to living on the mountains, on the trees, on the forest. Now, what are we? What are we, and how have we evolved all together? You see this gentleman probably. It's how do we behave? It is because of the biological history that what we were. Leadership development is possible and necessary to help us overcome our most primitive instinct. Our most primitive instinct is to live life uh, absolutely in the most glorious pattern of fashion that is possible. So that is the new idea from ancient time that comes around it. We need to change it. And why should we study the history of leadership? Remember what we are looking into it. First and foremost thing is map reading. You know, to understand the concepts of leadership, you need to read the map. Where did we come from? How do we go about what was had been happening to us? Is the reading of the map that comes around it. From here, we will decide upon a style that matches our acumen, and that is what we called about a map testing. We will always have a pilot survey, pilot study about our behavior, about the way we conduct ourselves. And if it's pilot study is successful, we'll implement and roll out on a large scale level. So basically having a full blown personality. If it is of leadership, that is what we are looking into is map making. Yes, to explore leadership concepts is map reading, to test leadership concepts is map testing, and to develop richer personal leadership map is map making which goes around it. And this is a never ending process. Remember, for generations and generations we have been doing it. And look, from the apes in the trees, we are sitting in a chair and a table and coming across and probably watching this video at the comfort of your time and zone. Right. So this particular thing has come from tree. Is this? No. Probably it's a technological enabled services that has been provided. I'm sure about it. This is how the journey would have encompassed. And it is few centuries old that we have come across it. And few centuries hence we will have moved as a species in somewhere else direction. Life will be pretty comfortable for all of us. History of leadership thoughts are the trait theories. It's approximately till 1940, everybody believed that leaders are born. They are not made at all. Then came the behavioral theories wherein we said, yes, leaders might be born. Yes, we are born with equal qualities. Yes, we can shape leaders. Yes, we can make leaders. Yes, we can educate leaders. Yes, we can transform people, a normal person, into a great leaders. That is what the behavioral theorists would be saying. It is in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. Then comes the situational approaches, all the contingency approaches. It says nobody, everybody is born equal. Everybody can learn the traits. Everybody can learn the behavior. Everybody can mimic the characteristic. But it is the situation. It is the environment that catapults a person into a particular position of power or reckoning, and that is what contingency or situational approaches is all about. It right now is the case of contemporary readings which wherein we are talking about transformational leadership, and this is what would be the agenda for this particular presentation. I will briefly talk about every of those theories thereby so as to give you an understanding what about the evolution of leadership is all about talking around. So contemporary theories are leaders are individual who inspires followers through their words, through their actions, through their ideas, through their behavior, through their conduct, if possible. They are the person who inspires the followers to mimic them, to follow their dictates and instruction. we have charismatic leadership, we have transformational leadership in the process, and this is what we talk about the contemporary theories. Let us visit transformational leadership as the case might be. Remember, transformational leaders are the leaders who motivate the followers to go beyond their normal expectation by pushing their comfort zone. In fact, transformation leaders will be the person who will make adequate arrangement in the environment, give sufficient support to the followers to go beyond their skins, to go beyond their abilities and explore. And believe me or not, they are only the enabled leaders who are well enabling their followers to a higher echelon, and the followers becomes a transformed individual altogether. They becomes much more confident, they becomes much more skilled, and their abilities enhances by leaps and bounds. And this is what transformational leaders are supposed to do, and do it stupendously well. What happens in the case of transactional leaders, and if you can see it again, the similar mechanism works around, but unlike in transformational leaders, here there is some sort of transaction that takes place. Basically, it guides followers to accomplish an established goals by clarifying requirement and emphasizing on the extreme rewards. It's like you achieve a goal, you reach an objective, you achieve the end targets, for which at the end of it you will get some reward, some extrinsic things which you might value altogether. In today's contemporary world, it is called as incentives, and that is what transactional leaders are all about. It they incentivize performance of an individual. They incentivize everything that can be done so that they can tailor made their behavior, they can iron out their issues. That's the greatest difference between transformational and transactional leaders, as the case might be. So let us understand the full range of leadership. I'll give you a full range of leadership. You remember on a y-axis how effective a leader or how ineffective a leader. On a x-axis how passive, or should I say how aloof, the leader is all about it, or how actively it's been practiced. So if we want to do something called on a basis of transactional and transformational, you will see ineffective leaders will be always be transactional. Why? Because they are incentive based, they're incentive induced, nothing else. They are mostly a manager rather than a leader. They will give you certain guidelines, properly state it out, and ensure that things have been done. So if the leaders are, if the situation or the environment is very passive, it is laissez-faire, it's not a free will leadership, then you have something called management by exception. People might be workaholic, people might not be, people might be should be comfort zone oriented. So that is what we are looking into it, the contingent reward, as the case might be. This is what is transactional rewards is all about it. On the other hand, remember, on the other hand, people who are active, people who are effective, and the environment is very active as such. So how do we go around it? This is where we look into the transformational leader. The higher echelon of leadership is the transformational being, wherein we are looking at customization of everything, of every individual consideration is taking place, intellectual stimulation has been done, and obviously, yes, by the leader, there he is, there she is, inspiring and motivating the followers thereby. Last but not the least would be your idealized influences, as the case might be. This is the full range of leadership model, as the case around. Then we are talking about transformational behaviors, modeling the way, challenging the process, enabling and empowering, inspiring a shared vision, encouraging the heart that comes around it. This is what transformational behaviors is all about it. That is what we talk about, modeling the way, challenging the process, enabling and empowering. Empowering whom? The followers. Challenging the process, what? The environment. Asking them to think out of the box. This is what we are looking into it. Modeling the way is what? They are not only saying things, they are walking what they are saying, they are walking their talk altogether. So what are we doing it? In short, we are transforming our vision into those eyes of the followers. We are enabling them to make the vision a reality, for not only for the company, not only for the leaders, but for themselves. This is what we say is transformational behaviors, which comes from the very core of the heart, and that is what we are looking forward to. Remember, this is most important rather than anything else. Again, to for your understanding, transformational behaviors are modeling the way, walking the talk, challenging the process, thinking out of box, enabling and empowering, creating a conducive environment, inspiring a shared vision, communicating thoroughly and instinctively, and encouraging from the heart, being compassionate, always being empathetic towards one another. And that is what transformational behaviors would all about be. Let us come to the last slide for the day. It is all about transformational relations, leaders. If you look into it, we are talking about translating the strategy into action. Yes, transformational leaders can do so because they are enabling of their followers, they are motivating them for them, they are inspiring them, they are creating a right environment for them to ensure that the vision become a reality. Building strategic relationship, it is a bond that needs to be formed around it. Remember, at the end of the leadership process, the follower is changed person. Why? Because he or she must have acquired a new knowledge or new experience or definitely a new skills thereby, so that therein it forms a strategic relationship. Nevertheless, we cannot undermine the fact of emotional intelligence. You will understand once you are under a transformational leader how confident you have become, and that is what your emotional intelligence is all about. It the mere fact that you have become confident in your handling of your day-to-day activity, it forges a stronger bond leading through change. If you look into transformational leadership, it is not the only followers who are enacting the word, it is the leaders who are walking the talk. They are ensuring that they are on the right path, they are doing the same thing that has been discounted or probably been asked to do so. And last but not the least thing is developing a person, developing the capability of an employee. Now, this means that this is a trick. You must have already heard of a thing, never give a man a fish, but teach a man to fish, and that will be employ enhancing the employee capability for lifelong learning. And that is what transformational leadership is all about it. With these words, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.